In-purchase support, right? Lisa mattress, supposed to be amazing. We bought a mattress from Lisa, and it was supposed to come within a certain period of time because my wife had some guests coming and she needed a new bed for them, and because you always need a new bed if you've got guests coming. And they said, yeah, we can get it there on time. It didn't come on time. She called support and they said, oh, hang on a minute. We've reviewed the tape recordings of the conversations that you had before, and we did not promise that it would be there on that time. They did not review the tape recordings, but if you have to say you're reviewing the fucking tape recordings, is that the customer experience you want to have? So the next thing I want to do is talk about customer experience, and I'm going to do an intensive on customer experience because when I started really going into codifying all the stuff that we've identified as important and has impacts, it's too long to do in something like this. But I do want to do an exercise with you, and I think this will help. So I think the first thing is to take a customer touch point inventory, and then I want to take a minute to fill it out with all of the customer touch points that are in your business currently. And here are some ideas for you. At purchase, they're looking at ads, they're looking at your website, your blog, your newsletter, your landing pages, maybe a webinar, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the socials, email, chat, user-generated content that they come into contact with, ungated user communities, comparison sites, review sites, storefronts, your e-commerce store, your storefront, Amazon, call centers, samples, and who knows what else, okay? These are just some ideas, but when your customer is first finding out about you and at the very top of your funnel in the consideration or discovery or awareness phase, this is a list of some of the things that they might do and some of the places they might come into contact with you. Do you know and do you control intentionally the customer experience at each of these customer touch points? Because if you haven't inventoried them, you don't know what they are. If you don't know what they are, then you haven't worked on them consciously and intentionally, and they don't fit into your overall brand value proposition, okay? So the customer experience starts there. Then as they move from discovery, awareness, consideration into purchase, you've got your add to cart. Is it a persistent cart? Because I can't tell you how many times my wife puts 1,000 things in her cart on 72 tabs in her browser and doesn't buy them and then goes back 30 days later to buy them and they're all gone because it's not a persistent cart. And she just hates those people. In-cart, pre-checkout, checkout, upsells, downsells, cross-sells, in-purchase support, right? Lisa mattress, supposed to be amazing. We bought a mattress from Lisa, and it was supposed to come within a certain period of time because my wife had some guests coming and she needed a new bed for them, and because you always need a new bed if you've got guests coming. And they said, yeah, we can get it there on time. It didn't come on time. She called support and they said, oh, hang on a minute. We've reviewed the tape recordings of the conversations that you had before, and we did not promise that it would be there on that time. They did not review the tape recordings, but if you have to say you're reviewing the fucking tape recordings, is that the customer experience you want to have, right? No. So I guarantee you Mr. Lisa or Miss Lisa or whoever owns that company would not be happy with that. Thank you pages, confirmations, chat, messenger, in-person sales, call center, right? And then post-purchase, what happens after it's done, like that, right? Confirmation, shipping, tracking, delivery, unboxing, first product contact. First product use, NPS, Net Promoter Score, onboarding, consumption, gifts that you send to them, follow-up, support, user communities, user-generated content on the actual experience of owning, testimonials, follow-on sales, and loyalty programs. So the thing is, this isn't all of it, right? This is not a complete inventory of all the customer touch points, and yet there's a crap ton of them here, right? So which ones do you have? And making a list of those so you have the inventory gives you an idea of the things that you need to be mindful of controlling the customer experience for. So the idea is now you've got all these touch points that you've identified, and you can take more time to highlight them and list them as you go along. But now I want you to do this. And so Brian Chesky from Airbnb is where I got this idea. This is a little different than what he does, but he said at Airbnb, they look at customer experience and say, let's write a 5-star review of how would a customer review the experience of dealing with Airbnb if they wrote a 5-star review. So the first thing that I want you to do, and this is easy, write a 5-star review for your business. Now here's what I thought was cool about that, is he said, because when we're done, that's the best we can be right now. That's the maximum best experience anybody can have with us right now. What if we had to give them a 7-star experience? What would that look like? What things that aren't in the 5-star experience would be in the 7-star? And so he said, the ideal thing is the owner shows up, they get in, there's no friction with getting into the house, they get into the house, it's clean, and it's good. The 7-star experience is the driver meets them at the airport and drives them to the place and gives them a welcome gift, and they take them around and cook them dinner and show them around the city. And then what's the 10-star experience? The 10-star experience is they come in and it's like the Beatles are there and there's this parade and all these people are there and there's elephants and fireworks and everything and go on and on. And then he said, but here's the thing. By looking at what's the 7 and 10-star experience, we can find some things that we can actually do. We can't currently afford to have a parade with elephants and fireworks. But what might we do beyond the current best possible experience we can give them? And then what I think is also helpful is to find the places to get from where you are to everyone having the 5-star experience is write a 3-star review of your company too. Because you know where you mess up, you know the weak points, and you know where your customers have complained, and you can look online if you have reviews at the 3-star reviews and find them if you need help. But like how, so the other part of this is, how do we eliminate the things that got us to the 3-star review? That's the inversion thinking applied here, right?